Agenda is a very fun thing we have nowadays when we consume different type of media. For some people, it's what makes watching or reading a popular series exciting and intriguing with other people, because you're constantly waiting for cool moments and information that will ultimately benefit your agenda and make whatever you're repping look better. And that's what a large portion of the One Piece fandom does, including myself. We all have agendas of people we want to look a certain way in order to come out on top against other agendas. As many of you already know, I'm always looking forward to Sanji getting great moments that I can hype up to oblivion, because I love the character and that is essentially my main agenda. Agenda also makes us see certain things within our character and amplify it to a degree that someone who is not a fan of the character wouldn't do, which is only natural, and most people can just tell that's what's going on because you're obviously going to be showing some fanboying. But obviously there's some cases where it's just beyond that and you're taking it a little too far than your typical fanboy would. The crazy thing is, a part of these agenda wars gets to a point where obvious things are blatantly being misinterpreted for the sake of proving your agenda to be superior. People start believing disingenuous interpretations for the sake of the agenda. This unfortunately happens all over One Piece and has become quite common. The people who run this corruption are as follows: the Zoro fans, the Sanji fans, the Yonko fans, the Admiral fans, and lastly, the Shanks and Mihawk fans. The main reason for this, if you couldn't tell, is that all these 6 agendas go at it on a daily basis. Admirals versus Yonkos, Shanks versus Mihawk, Sanji versus Zoro. Now these debates get extremely toxic mainly because each side tend to be disingenuous and purposely interpret aspects of the show in a fucked up way to favor their character in those agenda wars. This happens with all sides, by the way. The examples I give isn't me picking on a certain fanbase, it's just the best example I can give. By far the most craziest interpretation I've seen for the sake of agenda is someone tell me that Sanji said Zoro is stronger than him because he told Zoro to kill him. If you can recall, Sanji, who was afraid of losing himself and becoming a heartless monster like his brothers, asked Zoro if he does turn into that guy, take him out and just essentially kill him. But what this meant to certain people is, oh, Sanji knows Zoro can kill him if he really wants to, meaning Sanji just proves Zoro is stronger than him. The dynamic these two characters have portrayed with each other for over how many years, especially in this moment fighting alongside each other, that is what you take away from that moment. In a dire situation, we see Sanji put away his gag with Zoro and their pettiness to betray his utmost trust in Zoro and belief he has in him. He believes Zoro can achieve such a gruesome and heavy task of having to stomach to put down one of his crewmates as he wishes, because more than likely, no one else would have the stomach to do that. And more than likely, no one else is as close to Sanji as Zoro is. Maybe Luffy. I might be wrong with that last sentence. Of course Sanji would trust Zoro to take him out. Of course he would tell Zoro to kill him. They always trust each other to get any job done when it comes to combat. Even when they face opponents that were multiple times stronger than them, they will always trust each other to get shit done. When they both were separated from each other, they had the utmost trust in each other to protect the crew. Okay, hold up. Sanji wasn't talking about the crew when he mentioned Zoro will get the job done. Zoro was, but Sanji was specifically talking about someone else, about Tashigi. I don't know who it was, I forgot. But he says about Zoro that he will get the job done one way or another. Leave it up to him. Sanji knows that Zoro will do what he needs to do, and he will get the job done regardless because that's his belief. He believes in Zoro. This is a matter of trust, not a matter of Sanji power skilling Zoro is above him. Their whole relationship is portrayed as they hate each other and they diminish each other all the time, but when we see them in serious moments, they betray their utmost faith in one another. And that is what the moment was all about. Sanji believing Zoro can get the job done like he always has. What Sanji is essentially saying is that if I'm not myself, I trust you, Zoro, to kill my shell of a body, which is no longer Sanji anymore. He's not even telling Zoro to kill himself. He's telling him to kill a mindless soldier, which he believes Zoro would be capable of doing. But no, agenda corruption turned this into a power scaling argument for Sanji admitting inferiority. That's not me saying Zoro isn't stronger than Sanji. It's just like, what are we talking about? Like, why does your mind go there? You guys see the corruption? Another agenda corruption I want to tackle is the disingenuous ones. This isn't even a matter of interpretation. It's just people wanting to believe what they want, knowing it can't possibly make sense. The example here is with Mihawk and Vista. People will actually tell you that Mihawk is a Vista rival and couldn't get past Vista, essentially implying that Mihawk versus Vista is a conversation to be had. Looking at the squabble they had at face value and saying, yup, I'm just gonna go off that and fuck all logic. This is what I seen, this is what matters, and this is the truth. They are equal. And now let's ask ourselves, why do they want to believe this? Oh, it's because they want to prove Mihawk is a fraud and Shanks is better most of the time. Or some people just genuinely just hate Mihawk and think he's a fraud and they just want to bash him and believe this shit. Yes, for the sake of agenda, people will genuinely make themselves believe that Vista is actually a problem for Mihawk. You guys might think people are just saying it to troll, but some people actually make themselves believe this shit because that's how crazy this agenda stuff is. They don't care that Mihawk stated himself that he doesn't go all out hunting a rabbit. They don't care that Vista is probably not even Whitebeard's third strongest commander, and that guy is apparently rivaling the world's strongest swordsman. They don't care that Vista is way weaker than the current Zoro we know, and that Zoro is still actively trying to get stronger to face Mihawk one day. They don't care that Mihawk used to have legendary duels with Shanks and were considered rivals. They don't care he has a 3.6 bounty, almost equivalent to that of a Yonko's, without even being a Yonko. They know these things, but they don't care. It's all the agenda corruption. It's essentially, I don't want to see things this way because it doesn't help my agenda. The last example I want to give you guys. You ever heard a guy tell you Zoro doesn't have Conqueror's Haki in 2024? Right, that sounds like absolute fuckery because what we see in Wano and Egghead is him using Conqueror's Haki. It's practically confirmed within the story, like it pretty much is confirmed. But Zoro's updated Vivre card came out which listed all his types of Haki. And it didn't mention Zoro's Conqueror's Haki. And you know what mainly these Sanji fans did? Use this against Zoro to actually question if he has Conqueror's Haki. You think it's a joke, but it's not. These people start off saying this shit to piss off their enemies, and then like I said, they start to make themselves believe this shit because that's how agenda goes. These guys genuinely believe what they say. Tell me why a less canon source than the manga is being used to contradict the manga. It's not even more credible than the manga. How the fuck are these guys going to read these words and see these pictures with their own two eyes and say he doesn't have Conqueror's Haki? Oh wait, I know how. I know why. Because when you give these agenda corrupted individuals any sort of wiggle room to diminish their rival agenda, no matter how unlogical it is, they will do it no matter what. Because it's not about making sense anymore, it's about mindless debating to prove you're superior. Yo, like this shit is genuinely crazy to me. Like, it's funny now because you just look at this shit from a distance like, yo, this guy's actually cooked. And like, you don't really involve yourself in it. Well, at least I hope you guys don't. But like, it's like, I kind of like to study these guys. Like, moral of the story, agenda could be a good thing and also poison to the One Piece community. It corrupts people into believing and interpreting things in the worst possible way. People make themselves believe the lies they tell themselves, so it becomes their genuine thoughts. I find it hilarious and I find it psychotic, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. But that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. Take care. Tell me if I'm cooked. Tell me if you're cooked. That's it, guys. Peace.